Welcome to another episode of the Crossover. My name is Gabe.
I'm Nick.
Let's get into today's episode. Today we'll be talking about trades that happen, how teams drafted, and how we think they did. I'll let you start it off today.
All right, let's get right into this. All right, what do you want to talk about first? Want to talk about Porzingis going to Atlanta?
Yeah, I think that move was more of a salary dump instead of because George Niang is trash. I would rather prefer the 22nd pick, but that this may ruin his stock so bad. It's just like it was really just salary dump because we finally got under the second apron. So I think that's what it really was.
Yeah, I think it's good for salary purposes for the Celtics. I can see what they're doing with it. Um, I hate to see Porzingis go, man. I know his tenure here is kind of weird. He didn't really play a whole lot, but you could just tell the love he had for the city and the organization, and that's something that we don't see too often as Celtics fans because number one, we don't really get a ton of free agents. We don't really make a ton of trades for big name players. So when it does happen and we get a guy who really wants to be here like he did, it just sucks letting him go. But it had to be done. The injuries weren't helping, and just a big salary. But I'm excited to see what he's going to do in Atlanta. Getting to play with Trae Young. I'm a big Trae Young guy, so I think they both can match well with each other. Um,
I
and as
think
far
the
as the
Bucks are
return,
finally going to be able to be like a seventh, maybe sixth seed.
maybe they can get in the play-in and actually win a game or something now. But as far as the Celtics we get George Niang. You call him trash. I'm not going to call him trash.
Bro, bro. His number one clip of the year is Jason Tatum crossing him over and his ass on the floor, bro. That's his number one clip.
I
That
mean,
is trash, bro.
I'm not going to act like he's like some star or some like great backup piece. I think he's solid. He averaged like 10 points. He's 6'7", and he's a Massachusetts guy. He's born and raised in Massachusetts, so that means a little something, I guess. He might try a little bit harder here. Um, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we even flip him in the next couple of days, if because I know Brad Stevens still cooking up things, and there's going to be more moves made. We need big men, we need fours and fives on this team, so I wouldn't be surprised seeing him get packaged up and dealt somewhere. Even Anthony Simons, who we just traded for, I wouldn't be shocked if he gets moved too. So I'm really kind of in the dark here of what Brad's going to end up doing. I don't know if he's going to end up moving Brown or White. Um,
I don't
I'm
think we're
assuming the
gonna move
package is
those
going to have to
people
be
anymore
really good.
because the draft already happened. If we were to move them, it was gonna be last night because of the draft picks. Because now, if we were to trade them for first, it's like there's no guarantee what spot, so it'd have to be a haul of like five picks for Brown or like four for White, especially if
Well, that's what I
Devin is
mean. If
getting
it's
four.
like if the team is Utah and we're getting like you know Walker Kessler and Laurie Markkinen and a bunch of picks for Brown or something, I could see it happening. I don't. I personally wouldn't want to do that trade. Not that it's a horrible return, but I think Brown's value is just a little too much, and I'd rather keep him.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I guess we're getting away from the Porzingis trade. Yeah, I think if you're just looking at player for player in this trade, Celtics lose out big time in terms of value. But if you're looking at it like salary wise and what it helps, our team get under the second apron and all that, I think it's big. Now we can, make a lot more deals happen, packaging up a bunch of guys' salaries to get maybe a bigger piece. So I think if I had to grade it, I'd probably give the Celtics like a C plus or something. I'd probably give the Hawks like a
Give him like a B.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a. I don't know. I hope Porzingis does well, but he is injury prone. I'm assuming he's going to get injured at some point in the season. Who knows how it's going to affect the
We have to
Hawks?
see if he's even going to start the season. This man still has an illness that he doesn't even know from where, how, or what, like what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love Porzingis. I bought his jersey, and I'm happy I did that. I'm happy I made that purchase. I like Porzingis a
Gotta buy
lot.
one of these jerseys right here. You see that right there?
Yeah, I need to buy a Celtics jersey of a guy who's gonna like be here long term because Smart's gone. I had his jersey, now Porzingis. So it has to be Tatum at this point because now that Brown's even in conversations, I'm scared. So I need to get either a Tatum jersey or a damn Peyton Pritchard. I don't know if they're going to keep him. Um,
I
but
got,
yeah,
I think I got three Tatum jerseys. I got you with one.
Brian, I need something long term. I can't keep buying new jerseys. But yeah, I think as far as that trade goes, I think that's all I have to say on it. I don't know if you want to say anything else or you want to get into the next one.
Nah, this trade, it's like I said in the beginning, it's a salary dump. So speaking from a business point of the Celtics, not as a fan, not as the core business wise, I think this was the best trade we could have done because we freed up, I think it was what, 22 in cap space and then what, 140, 150 in luxury tax. So Brad Stevens cleared like hundreds of millions of dollars just in one trade right there. So I think that was the best return we can get and just like money wise speaking.
Yeah, I think it's going to help us a lot to make some moves going forward. So, I'm excited to see what Brad's going to do. I know I put all my trust in him, so I know he's not, going to do anything stupid and trading him away for nothing and have no backup plan.
The next big
Um,
trade though was Jordan Poole going to the Pelicans. What you think about that one?
Honestly, another weird trade. The Wizards, I have no idea what they're trying to do over there. I guess they have like a decent mix of youth and veterans to miss the playoffs again, most likely. Um, I like CJ McCollum. I think he's a little bit past his prime now. He's solid. He can maybe help some guys develop over there. Um, but I like it a lot for excuse me, I like it a lot more for the Pelicans than I do the Wizards. You're getting a younger guard. I feel like that team over there in New Orleans is a younger team, so maybe you just want to have, guys a lot, similar ages kind of building up with each other in hopes of getting somewhere in the West. So I don't hate it for the Pelicans. I think it's better than having CJ McCollum, aging.
Yeah.
Um, so I'd probably give like the Wizards like a C minus, and I'd probably give the Pelicans like a B plus. I'm not a big fan of Jordan Poole, but I'd rather have him over an old, CJ McCollum any
I
day.
was I was reading though that their plan was to get Ace Bailey, but then because Ace Bailey wanted to go to the Wizards, so that's why he didn't do any like practices. He was canceling last minute. So they traded Jordan Poole because that was supposed to be Ace Bailey's spot. So
Mm,
did that trade before the draft even happened, which kind of flew in their face because Danny Age, he's gonna make the right move no matter what, which was taking Ace Bailey over someone else because he was supposed to be the number three pick, and then he started falling, and then Danny Age, he got Tatum, he got Brown, he knows what's the right move to do, so he wasn't gonna fall under the Jazz. So they wanted to get Ace Bailey to replace Poole, sorry.
yeah, I mean, I feel like that's exactly what would happen to a team like the Wizards. You're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket, and then it just blows up in your face. So it doesn't surprise me that that's something that happens to them. Again, another poverty organization over there who's always just messing up and never getting any better. So yeah, so I mean, I have no faith in the Wizards to ever really turn into anything decent. Pelicans, honestly, feeling a similar way with them. I think they have a little bit more upside,
I
but
think the Pelicans have a lot more upside because of the draft, which we'll get into later.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think they had a good draft. I think they have a nice younger team. They just kind of need to put all the pieces together. I think maybe a solid veteran, would do them a little good. Um, but yeah, again, I feel like a kind of a nothing burger type of trade. Not
Mhm.
really that important in the grand scheme of the NBA, but yeah, I think that's all my thoughts on it.
Yeah, now the last big trade there was Mark Williams going to the Suns though.
Yeah, I know. I didn't really expect the Suns to make a move to get Mark Williams. I thought,
I didn't either, especially because of their draft pick.
what was that?
I didn't expect them to go after Mark Williams because of their draft pick. They took the center from Duke, who's 7'2".
Well, I guess they need big men over there. Who's their big men over there, anyways? Like it was Nurkic at one point. I think they got rid of him. I don't even know who it is over there anymore.
Yeah.
So they need big men. So I guess getting Williams and then their draft pick. They have a solid rotation now. Um, but yeah, I like it for the Suns. I just again I don't know where they're trying to go with everything. They have Jalen Green now, Booker. now Mark Williams. I guess you have some solid pieces, but they definitely need one, maybe a four, like a solid four to put on that team. And
They
maybe I
also
feel
need like a good wing depth though, because they got shooting guards but they're you could put Booker at the point guard just to bypass that, but they need wing depth, like a 3-4, like that's what they really need, in my
I feel
opinion.
like if they were to get like someone like Laurie Markkinen, that would be a solid piece for them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I like it for the Suns. I don't hate it. Mark Williams a little bit injury prone. That's the only thing bad I'd have to say about him. He doesn't really play a whole lot, similar to like I guess it's not as bad as Porzingis, but it's not much better than what Porzingis, has done. Um, and then what did Charlotte get? Like some
They
picks?
got their pick and a future first, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they got like a 2029 first, I think it was. So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess for a team like Charlotte, you're kind of still rebuilding, still trying to figure it out. A pick in 2029, who knows what that could turn into? That could actually be a solid pick. So yeah, I don't hate it for Charlotte. I feel like Mark Williams wanted to get out of there anyways, so
I
it's
think
kind of a
that this
win-win.
could have made that trade. Being a Celtic fan, we could have gave a second and like Sam Hauser or even a future first from another team because we need big man.
I'm fine with us not getting him. I'm so sick of the Celtics getting big men who just are unreliable and for health wise, we've seen it with Robert Williams, we've seen it with Porzingis, we would have seen it with Mark Williams. I want a guy who can play. Yeah, I'm done trading for guys who always get hurt. So I'm kind of happy that we didn't make that move. I'd rather the Suns just have him and deal with all that crap.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know. I'm just so desperate for a big. I know the season's also over at the same point, so I'm not gonna be like too upset on how we do, but I just don't want to see like my team be ass.
Yeah, well, next season's going to be a big question mark. So I don't know. We might be asked. We might actually be decent. I don't. I honestly have no idea where Brad Stevens is gonna like head this train. But I think it's knowing him is going to be good. It's going to be a good outcome for us. So
Yeah. Now we can start talking about our draft predictions and how we think teams will perform. Do you want me to start off with it?
yeah, go for it.
The number one pick was Cooper Flag. I think this was like the most obvious one. I think the Mavericks now are a guaranteed top four team in the West when they're fully healthy. I think they can make
Yeah.
a deep playoff from
Um,
Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, and then Derek Lively as the starting five.
I think yeah, all going well. Health and everything. Um, I could see them being like a fourth seed. I don't see them being better than the Thunder. I don't see them being better than the Rockets. Um, Nuggets, I don't know. The Nuggets actually might regress a little bit.
I think the
Um,
Nuggets are barely gonna make playoffs.
no, then if you have Jokic on your team, you're the best player in the world. They're gonna be like at bare minimum like a fifth seed.
Exactly. Playoffs now is like six. Outside of six, it's already playing.
Yeah, you said they're not. You said the what? They're barely gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, like secure like a playoff spot.
They're gonna be okay, man. It's the West. They're better off than like teams like the Lakers, I think. I think they're gonna be better than the
No,
Lakers.
they're not. The Lakers are gonna be better.
I see they haven't done anything at the center spot either. They're still looking for a big man.
They'll find though. They'll be fine.
But yeah, I like Cooper Flag a lot in Dallas. He goes kind of into a team that's already kind of built up. It's a strong team, a contending team. You still have Kyrie Irving there. You still got Anthony Davis. Is Klay Thompson's contract up, or is he still there for next season? Do you
He's still
know?
there for two or three more years.
All right, so yeah, you got Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag. Um, I think that's a solid team. I think they'll definitely be a top four seed in the West. I think, on any given playoff run, things go well, similar to like the Pacers did. I can easily see them making it to the finals again, and this time, honestly, winning. I think this Dallas team, is much better than the Dallas team that made it to the finals 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, as much as hate as Nico Harrison has gotten, rightfully so, honestly. Um, things have kind of worked out for him. Again, we
I
all have
feel
our
like this was
suspicions
all
about
due
how rigged.
to Adam Silver in the NBA, though. There's no way that the Mavs would have actually got the number one pick. There was
Yeah,
some type
exactly.
of like trade in the background, like, hey, like if I trade Luca, you got to promise me like a top three pick or something.
Yeah, I'm honestly at this point. I feel like it's not even a question anymore. Like there is some rigging going on. We've seen it when Derrick Rose went to Chicago, when Anthony Davis went to New Orleans. LeBron going to Cleveland, and I'm not saying everything's rigged, but there are parts of the NBA where I can't sit here and be stupid and deny it anymore. Like this is obviously rigged. That's why again why I don't like Adam Silver. But I think it even started before Adam Silver got there. They were rigging like the Patrick Ewing thing too. Um, but besides all that, maybe we'll make a video about that in the future one day. I like it a lot for Dallas. Cooper Flag, especially going into a good situation. They'll be a playoff team, bearing good health. So I like that a lot. So I think, obvious A plus for the Mavericks, though it wasn't a very hard decision to make.
Uh, what do you think about Dylan Harper going to the Spurs, though?
I like Dylan again. Another young kid going into a pretty good situation. My only thing with them is I feel like they have a lot of guards on that team, so I hope he has minutes over there. I guess, and now that Chris Paul is probably gone, I guess that frees up minutes for Harper. Um, so I like it for him. I think it's again a good situation. Probably going to make the playoffs if again all healthy. Um, See, I'd probably give him like an A plus for
Yeah,
that pick
give them
again.
an
Not a
A
hard pick to
flat.
make.
I feel like they're just missing wing depth because they got all the
That's what
guys
I
in the
mean. They have
world.
too many guards, and then they have like Wemby, and who's obviously going to play a ton. They just need like a solid wing. That's why I was hoping they would get like KD. I thought KD would have been a good fit there.
Yeah.
But he's a good fit in Houston as well.
Uh, I think for them it's like best player available was him because then I don't know like the best wing would have been Ace, but he fell all the way to five. Outside of that, it was all like shooting guards. So it's like when you have the number to pick, you can't pick what's best for your team. You got to pick like best man available, which
Yeah, well,
he
I
was the
feel
right choice.
especially when it comes to teams who are like certified playoff teams heading into the draft, especially with a good pick, you just take best player available at that point. It's like you're not going to reach on anyone. You're already in a good spot as it is. You might as well just take the best guy who can help you in the moment, try to win you a chip. So I think I like it for the Spurs. If I was the Spurs, I would have picked him. I don't know who else they would have picked besides him, anyways. So A plus, for San Antonio.
Yeah, I think the next few picks were reached. I think that the 76ers only picked VJ because Ace canceled their workout the day of. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not better than Ace. And then at number four, they took Duke's point guard. Like outside of a three-point shot, he can't play proper defense. His handles aren't the greatest. So it's just like for those two picks, I'm gonna have to give it a B just because of the drama that there was with Ace. I don't know how you feel about that, but
Yeah, Philly getting Edgecombe. I like it again. I feel like he's a solid talent. I think it's slightly above average. I'd probably give it a B as well. Who had the fourth pick again?
no,
That's Charlotte with
yeah,
Knipple or something.
Charlotte.
Yeah, Knipple, dude. Listen, I'm not like the best ball knower when it comes to college or anything, but man, I feel like sometimes you can just tell. Man, again, I could be so wrong. I don't know anything. I'm just literally going off of just like what I see. I would have just freaking I would have either traded the pick or take Ace Bailey or something at that point. I don't care. You're gonna take a dude named Knipple? Come on, man. You're taking a dude named Knipple, bro. And this is it too. Like I was like hearing Duke fans like opinions on it, and they're like, man, we're a big Duke fans, and we wouldn't even made that pick,
Bro, I'm
So
a Duke fan. I've been watching Duke for like t 10 years now. He's not no number four pick worthy,
yes, I
bro.
mean, he's like not. I'm not gonna disrespect the dude and say like we should have been drafted, but number 4 overall. again, I think I mentioned it with the Wizards. There's some poverty franchises that will always be poverty. So yeah, what was a fifth pick was what Ace Bailey?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, again, I from everything I've heard, he did not want to be in Utah. But I feel like this happens a lot with some dudes who like they don't want to be somewhere. They'll get drafted there. They're a little bit unhappy to begin with, but things all turn out well. The same thing. We're Celtics fans. Tatum did not want to be a Celtic. He wanted to be a Laker. He did not want to be in Boston. He's a Kobe fan all his life. What happens? He comes here. He's on a pretty decent team. He gets given the reins pretty early, and everything has panned out well. I could see something similar happening with Ace Bailey, where Utah. I think they're selling right now, like Lauri Markkanen, Jordan Clarkson. Who knows if they're going to be on the team next year? If they're gone, the reins are just given to Ace Bailey to do whatever the hell he wants, and he can turn into a star. And
I think
then
no
at
matter
that
what,
point,
he
he
already
might not
has
like
the
it
like
there.
ring of the city, bro. Like Lauri Markkanen, he's not the number one scorer. Jordan Clarkson, he's already old, so did like he ain't getting it. So I think Ace Bailey already has, like the keys to the city, no matter
Yeah,
what.
so I mean, it's going to be his to gain. It's all, they don't really have too much going on there to begin with. So I can see things panning out pretty well for Ace Bailey. So if I were him, I'd be excited. I know he didn't want to be in Utah, but it's not like Utah's a horrible place to be in. It's not the most lively place, but it's a decent city. It's a nice looking city. It's pretty safe. I think there's a lot worse cities to be in,
I think Portland
Memphis
would
or
have been
New
even worse.
Orleans. I would hate to get drafted like Memphis. Like, I don't want to live in Memphis. I don't want to live in New Orleans. I don't want to live in Sacramento. I definitely don't want to live in LA.
Oh
People
hell
love
no,
LA. You couldn't pay me enough money to be in LA. I
bro. Only
refuse.
way that I'm living in LA is if I'm making LeBron James salary, bro. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
you're paying
hundreds
me
of
Elon Musk
millions.
salary. So yeah, so I think that things are going to pan out well. I think maybe some Utah fans are kind of nervous about the whole thing, but I think everything's going to be fine. I think it's just some basic drama.
Yeah. I think I think he'll be fine once he goes to the facility. They talk everything out. I think they'll be, more than happy with each other. And then like halfway through the season, it's just all gonna like act like this never really happened.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the top five picks. I really don't care too much about the people past the top five. Do you have anybody like beyond the top five who you really liked?
I like
Because I'm assuming
Queen
we're not going to
coming
get
out of
to every
Maryland,
single thing.
going to the Pelicans.
Oh yeah. I like that pick too. I think they needed a center.
I'm super high on Queens. I think now with that move, if Zion stays healthy and he pans out to what I think they'll be better than the Nuggets next year.
Craziest take on the internet right there. I disagree full-heartedly. There's no way the Pelicans are going to be better than the Nuggets next year. No matter if the Nuggets regress, like maybe we think they are, um, they're not going to they're not going to be
Well,
worse than that.
outside of Jokic, who do they have?
Jamal Murray.
Yeah, who never plays.
Oh, Zion barely plays.
Huh? I
Zion barely plays.
but when Zion plays, he has more of an impact.
Then Jamal Murray.
Yes, than Jamal Murray.
All right. Well, that's they still have Aaron Gordon. They still have Jamal Murray. They still have Jokic. They still have Michael Porter, and that's all you need. That's the team that won the championship. And they still have Christian Braun. They got five guys who are better than every Pelicans player over there.
There's no way you said Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, and all the guys are better than Zion. The only guy better than Zion on that team is Jokic.
Zion doesn't play, so I'm not even gonna like factor him in. Like the dude doesn't play.
Neither does Jamal Murray. He barely plays. He's always injured.
So you take Zion out of the equation. Christian Braun is probably better than every player starting on that
Christian
team.
Braun is not better than Poole.
I don't know. Honestly, you could have a conversation.
No, you can't.
How many games did Jamal Murray play last season in the regular season?
I don't know. Let me
I
see.
want to know because you're acting like this dude was like couldn't play. I feel like I didn't think he missed a ton of games. He
How
played
many
67 games.
games did
Dude, bro, you wilding, bro. You're just making stuff up. Dude played 67 games. How many Zion play?
that's I don't know. My shit ain't loading.
So Jamal Murray missed what, like 12 games?
No, we missed like almost 20.
20?
There's 82 games in the year.
Yeah, so we missed what, 15?
Exactly,
Something?
almost 20.
You said you're acting like you don't play. Well, how
No,
many? Look up
last year was
Zion.
his
I want to know how much Zion played.
bro. Look up Jamal Murray's the
No,
practice
no, 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 no.
in
I'm
his
looking up
senior year.
Zion because you're talking all that talk, and I'm going to put you in your place. All right. Well, Zion played 30 games, so that proves my point. They're not going to be better than the Nuggets, bro. Please take it back.
Bro,
Unless you want to put money on it,
the
I'm willing
Pelicans
to.
are gonna be better than the Nuggets. The Pelicans are gonna be, bro. They're making it as a top 8 seed.
I'd be saying they're probably going to be a play-in team, and honestly, if Zion goes down, they're freaking bottom of the barrel. So
Yeah, I'm saying fully healthy Pelican squad.
that are better than a fully healthy Nuggets.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on. Horrible take. Horrible take. Really
Bro,
bad take.
it ain't that crazy.
Uh, my dark horse pick that I like for I don't know anything about this dude, so this is just gut intuition. Is the dude who got picked eighth overall by the Nets, that Russian guy? I don't know what about it is. I had a good feeling about him. I know nothing about him. I've never watched him play, but I can just tell a Russian point guard. Yeah, that dude's gonna be nasty. He's gonna be like Rondo or something. I guarantee that dude's a nasty passer or
Rondo?
something. Yes, that dude. I guarantee that dude's gonna be nasty. And I have nothing to go on. I have no evidence. That's pure gut intuition. That's my hot take. That dude's gonna be good.
Putting him to Rondo is worse than my take on the Pelicans, bro.
I'm saying it's all gut intuition. I'm not saying it's gonna. I'm just saying I have a good feeling, and it's not worse than the Pelicans take. 100%.
Hell yes, it is.
You're acting like Rondo is damn freaking Steve Nash or something.
No, but you're comparing guys you don't even know just because he's Russian, comparing him to a Rondo.
I'm saying he probably plays like Rondo. He's a Russian dude,
Are
you
we
know.
talking? Wait,
Top 10
what
pick.
are we talking about? Lakers Rondo?
No, I can talk any version of Rondo you want. Rondo is Rondo.
Talking about mid Rondo, then sure.
Maybe like a Sacramento Kings Rondo. 11
I
points, 11 assists.
then yeah, I agree with that.
How much better do you think Celtics Rondo was than Sacramento Rondo?
Championship worthy.
Oh, but stats. It's not like he just couldn't be a champion anymore. He won
Not
with the
all,
Lakers.
not everything on the stat sheet shows for a championship ring. There's little
Okay, I can
things.
agree with that, but you're acting like the Sacramento Rondo was washed compared to the
Not
Celtics.
washed. It's just like a tier below. You know, like SAB. Like Celtic Rondo was a B, Sacramento was a C.
Celtics Rondo was a B,
Yeah.
bro. You're too young, bro. You don't remember.
Bro, you tell me he's an A? He was not a top five point
Celtics
guard.
Rondo in 2000 like 8 to 2000 like 11 or whatever the hell it was is probably like an A to an A minus in that range point
Maybe
guard
A
in the whole
minus.
NBA. Huh?
Maybe A minus.
Because he was up there, bro. I'm not saying he wasn't as good as Chris Paul. He wasn't good as like Darren Williams, but he was there. He just had a lot of guys on his team, but he was the best facilitator in the whole NBA
He was
by
not better than
far.
Chris Paul.
Rondo's a better passer than Chris Paul. Chris Paul's a better floor general. Chris Paul can direct things better, I think. I don't know about that either. Rondo's a better passer for sure.
Yo, you're smoking crack, bro. Yo, you woke up, rolled up a quick little blunt, and shoot.
After the takes that you said, nah, bro. Listen, go to the people who are
Bro,
watching that type of basketball. You're a baby. Anyways, that's my hot take. That's my gut intuition. The Nets got a star in the making, and that Russian dude is like Igor something. That's a hard name. You know that dude's gonna be nasty.
I think that the Sun Center that they picked up from Duke, I keep forgetting, like, come on, something. That guy's gonna
Uh,
be better than him, bro. He's gonna be nasty. Straight out of Africa. He
he's
got
a
that dog
center.
in
I
him.
don't know. It's different than a point guard. He could be better as a center. I don't know.
Oh, he's gonna be a better overall player.
It's possible. I don't know. It's sure. I don't care.
He, all right. That should be all for today, though. Thank you for watching today's episode. Go like, subscribe, and turn the notice on.
Let me know if y'all agree with me over him. And yeah, subscribe. Love you guys.
Love you.